Elizabeth, thank you. He is one of the new faces on the political scene and wants to be the next governor of Massachusetts. Joe Avellone has extensive experience in the field of health care and is a former selectman in Wellesley. He's running as a Democrat. We're pleased to have him in our Dedham studio this morning. And let's start with this, other than what I briefly mentioned. Tell us, who is Joe Avellone?
Oh, good morning, Gene. Thanks. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm a surgeon, started out as a surgeon, a healthcare executive, and I've been running a large global division of a medical research company the last 6 or 7 years. We have 15,000 employees in 50 countries. I've learned a lot about creating jobs, and I've learned a lot about how to manage large organizations, and I think I can bring those skills to our state.
Curious, do you have a political role model, somebody you say, you know what, I'd like to be compared to this guy because I'd like to, be the type of politician that person is?
Yeah, very much so, actually. The late Senator Paul Tsongas was my political hero and mentor. I supported his campaigns and actually was his healthcare advisor in the '92 presidential campaign. But I like the way he was very pragmatic about growing the economy. That's been my focus, and as a lifelong Democrat, and he was too, creating new jobs is really what lifts all people, and that's been, and he had the ability to do that working across the aisle. That's what I think I can bring to Beacon Hill.
Is there something that happened that you noticed being an event or just a series of things where you said, you know what, I have got to run for governor, I've got to get in this race?
I've always wanted to do it. I started out going into surgery because I wanted to help people. So my whole motivation has been to help people, and I've been doing it as a manager in the health system. But I was, a leader in our town. I was a selectman, and I realized that, and always interested in health policy. And I realized that I could help more people in the public square, and that's why I think I can bring a lot to the government now. Not
that you'll be focused too much on what's happening in Washington, but the health care law has been obviously dragging things down and causing a stalemate down there. And Obamacare, as it's called, a lot of people have some issues with it, even if they do support it. Is there any part of the law that troubles you at all?
We have essentially a universal health care system here in Massachusetts, and we've had it for 7 years. And a lot of the Obamacare law, the Affordable Health Care Act, is patterned on that. So I think the big message is it works here. And actually, we don't really need to tinker with the insurance part of it here. We have to go to the next step, which is to create a more affordable cost structure. And that'll be the next step for the nation, too. But in our state, we're ahead, and we need to get about doing that. And I think there are many ways to do that, and certainly the next governor will have to take that on.
On your website, you talk about a lot of issues important to you. One of them is expanding transportation in the Commonwealth, something the governor tried to do. He presented that in his State of the State at the beginning of the year, and that wasn't met with too much support. In fact, most of it got shot down. A lot of that was the funding mechanism. Did you think the governor was on the right track with any of that?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been all over the state since I started running. I've been in 108 towns, and there is a lot of uncertainty about the economy. What people are really focused on is jobs, and there's 10% unemployment in a lot of our gateway cities. So, and the main focus of my campaign is where are we going to find the new jobs. Having a big broad-based tax increase at this time was really not good for the economy. I did agree with the idea of having an infrastructure tax, a transportation tax, but we have to get about building new jobs, and that's where I think my main message is. We need to bring new jobs from new industries, and we can do that by creating new work skills using our community colleges and vocational schools differently and more strategically. You
have a crowded Democratic field here, and you've got some well-known Democrats in there: Martha Coakley, the Attorney General, Steve Grossman, the State Treasurer, among others who are in this. How do you make sure that your name, number one, gets out there and people recognize that, and also the funding of it, the fundraiser? Those are some well-backed candidates there, and the way it is, the way the game is played, you need to have that type of funding.
Well, it's interesting. We have a history of electing outsiders that weren't known well before. Deval Patrick is the latest and a great example of that. And actually, many of our governors over the past 30 years, not any really have come out of Beacon Hill. None have come from the Attorney General's office. None have come from the Treasurer's office. So that means everybody had to start building a grassroots organization, and really that's what I've been doing. 108 towns, 300 events, building it brick by brick. And that's the way the fundraising goes, too. So I've been raising enough money to run a grassroots campaign. That is what I think a governor's race should be, and that's really what I've been doing, and so far it's been terrific.
And you've been having a good time doing it.
Oh, fantastic. Very invigorating.
A long way to go. I know we'll be talking with you more down the road. We do appreciate coming in this morning. Joe Avellone, thank you very much.
Thanks
Democrat
a lot, Gene.
Running for governor. Of course, we continue to speak with the announced candidates for governor. We've invited them all on our morning news. Look for them in the coming weeks. We got to take a break. We'll continue in the Fox 25 Morning News in just a moment.